Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome back to the Metal Mushroom. This should be the final video for the speeder bike. It has been over a year now working on this. I kind of got sidetracked during the summer of trying to get it to primarily work under the one wheel. Um, the last video that was out, again, which I think was from May, um, I had put a temporary wheel under the front and was going to work on the suspension to go under the footrests. I'll show a little picture over here of that. Um, that's what I had said I was going to work on, and I did. There were many iterations through it. There was, I had a wheel that was off of a walker, this wheel here. Um, Seemed about the right size for what I needed, and it would fit up underneath the footrest pegs up under, it's hard to see in the camera here, but right up under the foot. Uh, the idea being that then if I build some kind of shock absorber system into it so that it could spring, that I would be able to use the functionality of the one wheel to lean into it to make it go. I had a real hard time getting this to be stable. It was trying to start off often up at this height here, so it left that whole lower shaft just kind of sticking down below and with nothing to support it except for that little bit that was up into the footrest peg. So it made it very unstable. The initial iteration, I had this was the bolt, this was the tubing that the um, Walker originally had this little metal insert and threaded insert that this bolt went into that held the wheel on. I initially tried just drilling and tapping a hole into here to put a threaded rod in and then connect that threaded rod to a larger shaft that I would then put the springs on. That, as you can imagine, did not work well because that was the weak point. If it wasn't perfectly aligned and tight, it was bending every single time. So that quickly went out the window. I then tried to start milling, and I'll put a little, see if I can do a little video in video over here of trying to mill some rod down, because the hole through this caster thing, through these bearings, is a metric measurement. I believe it was 12 mil. And all of the metal that I could find locally was an imperial measurement of half inch, probably. Yeah, 12 half, yeah, half inch. So I was trying to, I don't know if you can see that on the camera there, slight taper right around there. That's where I went from the half inch to the 12, and then I threaded it. I initially started with a small thread. I didn't get it on very, I don't know if you can see that curvature in that. There's some curve. It literally goes in the threaded area. Had the same problem with this one. This one actually turned out pretty good. This one turned out pretty good. This one turned out pretty good, and I had like a little double shock absorber system going here with a heavier duty spring here, a lighter duty spring at the top. Again, all of, oh yeah, I forgot. Between this and this, I tried to make my own caster out of sheet metal, and quickly found out that if there's no steering and if there's no rotation involved, it wants to act like skis. And so you would end up them going together. It didn't work. So that was a very quickly abandoned. That was when I went to this. I tried again several iterations of trying to get this on. It technically worked. I did do, I put a video up of the test flight That was actually with the original just gate caster. Um, Once I got this finally to this point of a shock that kind of worked, I did a full assembly and added the front forks. Once I added those front forks, to get any lean out of it into the one wheel, to make it go, I was burying the front forks into the ground. So I quickly came to the realization that as much as I had wanted this to go onto my one wheel, it really wasn't practical without a whole bunch more engineering to make it work. So I decided to shift gears rather than kill myself and try to do a whole bunch of engineering that I do not have the machinery to do. I decided to go the easier route, which was go with an e-Skateboard that gives me a flat deck to put the whole thing on. So I just recently got an e-Skateboard. That's what's sitting up underneath here right now, and I'll go over more of that at the end of the video. So with that said, I've kind of reviewed everything as far as the suspension that did not work for the one or for on the one wheel. So at that point, let's go ahead and get into the paint. We'll start with base coats and work our way up from there. So let's get started.
Okay, I have been working on prepping for paint. We're getting all of the parts coated. You can see there's like a yellow tinge to it now. I'm using just some wood glue to create a skin that I can sand and paint. So we'll get those done. I've got more parts up here hanging up. There's the big forks that go out there. So once we get all that coated, then we'll get started on the paint. Okay, first engine here. This one has been coated in a layer of glue. I didn't do a whole lot of sanding, and then I just did a coating of the lightweight drywall mud on that, and then sanded that smooth. So that's getting ready to have a second coat of glue. That has had a first coat of glue and been sanded. I don't know how I think I'm gonna do a second coat of glue before I try to do any of the drywall mud. And then both the body pieces and the handlebars have been sanded and are ready for a second coat. So moving right along. Okay, it's 2 days before Beggar's Night, and I've got all of the pieces. There's the steering column, footrests, front blades, body parts, big front end, rear end. And you've got the luggage rack pieces, front handlebars, front forks, nose piece, side pieces. All the pipes have been painted and the two side engines. So I think everything's ready to be painted silver tonight. So let's see. Okay, nothing has been weathered. This has been rush on the paint, but I think it came out okay. Everything's a nice silvery. The stuff that's left black was intended to be left black. Got that. This still has to get painted copper. And then I still got all this stuff is hung and done. And then we've got all the pipe, handlebars, and footrests, and then everything. And then that's front forks. So we got forks and one of the luggage racks. Luggage rack, front fin, footrest, nose piece, other footrest, other fins, body, steering column, engines. All right, got to get it all put together. I'm going to do a single video for that of the put together because it takes about 20 minutes to put it together. I'll probably do it as a one of those things. Time lapse. There we go.
Okay, we're going to try to get the speeder bike put together here. Paint job has all been done. We don't have any I haven't done the weathering on it yet, but the majority of the paint is done, so we're going to try to get it put together and get it on top of the electric skateboard that I just got for said purpose. I picked up an electric skateboard off of Marketplace for like 50 bucks. Had to get a charger for it, but other than that, works great. That will be the new mode of propulsion for the speeder. The one wheel was just, much as I wanted it to work, it just was becoming a engineering nightmare to make it functional. So I spent the majority of the summer trying to come up with some kind of suspension system that would allow it to work, and I just did not have any reasonable luck getting there. It was just because of the way the one wheel works, the way it tilts to go on an object as long as this speeder bike, which is going to be almost 12 feet long. Once you get those in, it was more the front forks. They were so far out there that to lean forward to go, you were digging the front forks into the ground. And so I would have had to raise up the whole thing, which then changes the center of gravity, which changes It just became unfeasible. So e-Skateboard seemed like a good solution. Still allows me to make it mobile, but much easier to figure out a mounting situation. I'm just going with a simple PVC frame that'll sit up underneath. That's what the speeder bike will sit on, is this, and then this will sit on top of the skateboard, and the skateboard has a remote control, so I can control the speed and so forth from that. But then I can actually take this out and ride it. So let's get it put together, though. I'm just going to do this on a time lapse. I kind of want to see how long it's going to take to put this together. I've got some of it assembled. The main portion of the steering column is already together. That's the big center steering thing. The handlebars, the front forks, the front blades or whatever those are. I've still got the side blades that go on that'll put on in the assembly. So this shouldn't take more than about 15-20 minutes to put together is my guess. So, all right, let's get started. Okay, I think we're going to call speeder bike done. At this point, it's mounted on top of the skateboard. Everything is put together. All the pieces, parts are here. We've got handle grips. I may go ahead and there's a wire that goes like between this grip and this handlebar. I have not put that in. That's a minor thing in my opinion. I do still have to get the saddlebags for the back finished, but the build itself, the speeder bike itself is done. I can pick both feet up, and we're going to very carefully go forward. And then we're going to brake. We're going to hit reverse. Oops. Okay, I think once I've got open space in front of me and I'm not worried about crashing into something or someone, I should be able to get this going, and that's on the slowest speed. just like that. I'm going to turn this off so I don't accidentally run myself into a wall. Okay. Off. Swing our leg over without knocking the helmet off. Okay. Again, I may do some more weathering. I've started doing some weathering over here. My spray bottle with dark paint, though, started giving me fits, so I'm running into problems. I did get some rust effect going on this part here. All right, we'll just, I'll show that in a close-up here, like over here. Get a close-up picture so that you can see it. Um, Again, just I haven't done a ton of weathering to it yet. The seat's been weathered up a little bit. This was white. Did that with just some coffee and uh, mainly coffee. Just kept spritzing it and then dabbing it down. So that's got that. I started doing, like I said, started doing some weathering at the back. But yeah, I think we're good. I think I'm going to call this project a wrap. All right, more projects to come always, so please like and subscribe, all that kind of thing. Metal Mushroom is my channel. Probably have some more mushrooms being made soon, some actual metal mushrooms. And then I dip back out into the cosplay hobby world again. So more to come.